My name is Maya, and my sister, Chloe, was my world. We were inseparable, two halves of a whole. While I built a stable life as a teacher, Chloe's journey was harder. After years of trying, doctors told her and her husband, Mark, that they couldn't have children. My heart broke for her every single day. She was desperate to be a mother. One evening, over a tearful dinner, Chloe hesitantly asked me a question that would change my life forever. "Maya," she whispered, would you be our surrogate? You're the only one I trust. It would be our baby, genetically ours, just carried by you." I didn't hesitate. "Yes," I said without a second thought. "Of course I will." The joy on her face, the hope in her eyes, was everything. It was an act of pure, unconditional love for my sister. The pregnancy was challenging but filled with hope. Chloe and Mark were at every appointment, rubbing my belly, talking to their baby. I felt like a vessel of pure love, helping my sister achieve her greatest dream. The baby, a girl, was due in late summer. We even had a name picked out, Lily. But as the due date approached, a shadow began to fall over their marriage. Chloe and Mark started fighting more frequently, their once solid bond fracturing under the stress of their fertility journey and other unspoken issues. Chloe became distant, moody, often cancelling appointments. Mark, too, seemed withdrawn. I tried to talk to Chloe, to offer support, but she would push me away. "It's fine, Maya," she'd snap. "Just focus on carrying the baby. We'll sort out our own problems." I was worried, but I chalked it up to third trimester hormones and pre-baby jitters. I kept telling myself it would all be fine once Lily arrived. A baby fixes everything, right? The day Lily was born was supposed to be the happiest day of Chloe's life. I went through a long, difficult labour. When they finally placed Lily in my arms, she was tiny, perfect, a miracle. Chloe and Mark were in the room, but their presence felt different. Chloe looked at Lily, but her eyes held a strange, blank expression. Mark avoided my gaze entirely. Then the nurse came in. "Chloe," she said kindly, "would you like to hold your daughter?" Chloe shook her head. "No," she said, her voice flat. "Not right now. I need to talk to Maya." My heart sank, a cold dread washing over me. I looked at Lily, who was cooing softly in my arms, and then at my sister. Chloe's face was devoid of the joy, the hope, the desperation for motherhood that had driven this entire journey. It was replaced by a chilling emptiness. I knew, with a sickening certainty, that something was terribly wrong. The air in the hospital room was thick with unspoken words, suffocating me. Lily, utterly oblivious, cooed in my arms. Chloe led me to a private waiting room, her face pale and drawn. Mark stood by the door, his eyes fixed on the floor. "Maya," Chloe began, her voice barely a whisper. "Mark and we're getting a divorce. It's been coming for a while. We've just been holding it together for the sake of the baby." My mind reeled. Divorce? Now? My sister, my best friend, was telling me her life was falling apart, moments after I had given birth to her child. "Chloe, I'm so sorry," I said, trying to process the shock. "But what does this mean for Lily? You'll still be her mother." She wouldn't meet my eyes. "That's the thing, Maya," she said, her voice growing colder. "Mark, he's seeing someone else. He wants to start a new family with her. And me, I just can't. After everything, all the pain, the trying, I can't be a mother right now. I can't do it." I stared at her, utterly speechless. Mark finally spoke, his voice heavy with guilt. "We've discussed it, Maya. We thought maybe you could raise her. We'd give you financial support. It would be temporary, of course, until we get back on our feet." Temporary? Financial support? This wasn't a pet. This was Lily, a helpless, innocent baby, my own genetic niece, who had just spent 9 months growing inside me. My sister, the woman who had begged me to carry her child, was abandoning her. "No," I said, my voice rising. "No, you can't do this. This is your daughter, Chloe. You begged me for her." Chloe's face hardened. "I know, Maya, but I made a mistake. I'm not ready for this." "What do you want me to do? Pretend I'm a perfect mother when my life is a mess?" She turned away, her shoulders shaking. Mark stepped forward, placing a hand on my arm. "Maya, please, just think about it. We're offering you a chance to be a mother. A real mother. She's your niece. You love her." I looked from my heartbroken, selfish sister to the guilt-ridden, cowardly father. And then I thought of Lily, fragile and innocent, waiting in the nursery. They were abandoning her, and in that moment, something shifted inside me. The anger, the shock, the betrayal, it all crystallized into a fierce, primal protectiveness. I had carried her, felt her kick, nurtured her. She was mine now, in a way they could never understand. "Get out," I said, my voice surprisingly calm. "Both of you, get out of my sight. I'll take care of Lily. But don't you ever, ever think you can just walk back into her life when it's convenient for you." They left, leaving me alone in the hospital room, a new mother, not by choice, but by the most profound act of betrayal. The first few months with Lily were a blur of exhaustion and overwhelming love. Every time I looked at her tiny face, I saw a miracle, a testament to my own strength, and a constant reminder of the painful choices I had to make. My sister, Chloe, vanished from my life. She changed her number, moved out of state, leaving no forwarding address. Mark, Lily's biological father, occasionally sent a check, always without a word, always late. They were ghosts. I resigned from my teaching job to be a full-time mother. My parents were shocked, then supportive, stepping up to help me in every way they could. They knew the full story, the heartbreaking betrayal, and they stood by me. They loved Lily unconditionally, filling the void left by her biological parents. Years passed. Lily grew into a vibrant, intelligent, and fiercely independent little girl. She was my heart, my joy, my entire world. I never hid the truth from her, not entirely. I told her that she had been a very special baby, born from immense love, and that her biological parents had made a very difficult choice, one that led her to me. I shielded her from the uglier truths, knowing she would understand them when she was older. My life, once stable and predictable, had become richer, more complex, filled with the boundless love of a mother. I had traded my career for motherhood, my quiet life for the beautiful chaos of raising a child. I had healed from the betrayal, not by forgetting, but by transforming the pain into purpose. Then, on Lily's 7th birthday, the past walked back into our lives. I was at the park with Lily, watching her play on the swings, when a familiar figure approached. It was Chloe. Older, thinner, her face etched with a decade of regrets. She looked lost, hesitant. "Maya," she whispered, her voice raw. "It's me, Chloe. I came back for her. For Lily. I'm ready now. I've sorted out my life." My heart hammered against my ribs. I looked at my sister, the woman who had abandoned her own flesh and blood. And then I looked at Lily, laughing on the swings, utterly unaware of the storm that had just entered her life. "You're too late, Chloe," I said, my voice steady, devoid of anger, only quiet resolve. "You had your chance. Lily is my daughter. You don't just walk away from a child for 7 years and then decide you're ready now. You broke her heart before she even had one, and you broke mine. You don't have a place here anymore." Chloe broke down, tears streaming down her face, begging for forgiveness, for a second chance. But I held my ground. My loyalty was to Lily now, and I would protect her with every fibre of my being. My sister had given me the greatest gift of my life, through her most profound act of betrayal, and I would never, ever let anyone take that gift away from me. My life was no longer a neat blueprint. It was a masterpiece, painted with the colours of sacrifice, love, and unwavering devotion.